welcome to another episode of Movie Crunch. I was gonna say live, but it's not live.
Live from New York.
It is being filmed at the moment. It's live action right now. And as always with Movie Crunch, I'm Eric O'Donnell.
Anna Sutter.
And I'm Nate Schaffner.
What'd you do there just a second ago?
I did a Kate Hudson.
Oh, okay. Like a shut up?
No.
Oh.
We'll come back to it.
Okay. And as always in Movie Crunch, we review movies in 4 or 5 different flavors, I think. It's
4.
4. That's the joke.
I think it's his first time.
It's my first time. Be gentle.
Be gentle.
We do writing, acting, directing, and cinematography. We also discuss our favorite scenes, and then we talk about the ending. And today, the movie we are doing that with is another one of Hannah's all-time favorite movies that me and Nate have not seen before doing this episode.
Which is shameful because
it's actually pretty shameful. It's Almost Famous.
Yes.
And it's almost perfect.
And it almost, you know what? That's pretty accurate 2-word description.
Actually, on the bootleg cut, it's called Untitled.
Indeed, and that's what Cameron Crowe wanted to name it.
You know what? I kind of agree with that.
Studios,
yeah. But
Untitled.
If you don't know the movie, like a little bit of a synopsis. Hannah, why don't you give us a synopsis?
Yeah.
Well, it is based, semi-autobiographical, based on Cameron Crowe's experience writing for the Rolling Stone as a 15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Which in and of itself
Could
is
you
an amazing
imagine that?
story.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Not any story, a cover story.
Yeah.
For the Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
Like, and of course, I don't need to say this. Everybody knows what the Rolling Stone magazine is. It's like the music magazine. Like, there's no other.
I don't know what that is. Does it make money at all? I mean...
Anymore? Or
Anymore? Or no.
It's a little bit different than it used to be. But
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
But, yeah.
But basically, it's following him along with the band that he is writing the story about, the very first cover story.
Yeah.
So.
And they're this band made up for the movie that represents the bands he followed around.
Which, in real life, was the Allman Brothers Band. But a little bit of Led Zeppelin, too, his first couple stories. So it's kind of like a composite.
Yeah.
And in the movie, the band is Stillwater.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I was actually watching the Dan Cave on Nerdist. And
I totally know what that is.
He was doing a top 5 countdown of the best fictional fake bands. Stillwater was number 2.
They're excellent.
I agree with him when he said we don't get a lot of their music in the movie, like in the movie itself, but when you get to that scene where they start playing
the very first time,
and when they get like on more Fever Dog, and you hear like Jason Lee, who's the lead singer, and
that natural.
Yeah,
that wasn't.
This move.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That wasn't. You said that wasn't Jason Lee, was it?
It's not his singing voice.
Oh.
I hate to break your.
Oh, you said it was in the movie.
I
thought
they're performing it.
Okay.
They are actually performing it.
But Billy Crudup does play. He is playing that guitar.
That's true. That's what he's doing.
They're playing and singing, but the actual audio you hear is not.
Okay. Dream's a
Just
little
to be
crushed.
fair,
Dream's a little crushed, but that's okay.
but everyone seemed to think in real life they were pretty good.
I believed it.
And they were awesome. Like, I thought that their music was cool. Like, if they were a real band, I would have bought multiple albums.
Stillwater should tour with Spinal Tap.
You know what, Cameron Crowe?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Proposition.
They get those guys together and let's get a tour. They're not doing anything. Get a tour. Let's get a tour going.
Make that happen.
Let's make it happen.
One of the things I liked about the movie is that it really is a coming of age.
It really
Yes.
is.
Story.
Which is, just to be frank, it's my favorite kind of movie.
Yeah.
Coming of age movies?
Yeah,
Those are
Cameron Crowe
good.
describes like that moment in somebody's life or in a character's storyline, like when their world is on tilt. And I feel like when you find what you're passionate about and you're just like
Going for
your
it.
world is completely altered at
Yeah.
that moment.
Yeah.
And that's what the movie is about. It's just that space. That is so cool.
Yeah.
That's what coming of age movies do.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
it's
a
awesome.
completely, even though he's still the same age, when he gets home, he's a completely different person.
Oh yeah, he's aged like beyond his years when he gets home.
Like in the very beginning of the movie, when he's talking to Kate Hudson, who's like the leader of the Band-Aids, not the groupies, the Band-Aids.
We gotta make that clear.
She's very clear about that in
They
the
only
movie.
do
We are
one
not groupies.
super clear about that. they only do stuff like they
They're
only
about
do
the music.
they're
The music.
that's what they're about. And
anyways,
it's super clear.
But you know how she says, we live in the same city. We'll meet up sometimes, and he's like, I think we live in different worlds.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's totally right.
Because he's just such a noob.
Yeah.
He's such a noob. But by the end of the movie, you feel like now he gets it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And, man, like, this movie, I really should have watched this movie earlier in my life because before I really into, I still love music in general, but I wanted to be like a musician as a career. And this would have been like an amazing movie for me to see at that time. I still love it now, but I
wish you would have seen it in the formative years.
In the formative years, I kind of wish I would have seen it. With my long hair and my just like.
Oh God, can we please insert a photo of that right now?
Go ahead.
Now.
If you can find it.
Right here
if you
on
can
his face.
find it, go
Imagine
ahead.
that.
If you can find it, go ahead. I had hair down to here, and I had a mustache and a goatee.
And the musicians talk like musicians.
They do.
Too.
Oh my God.
Like that is the fucking buzz right there.
Yeah.
I find the one guy who's not getting off, and I get
Him off.
Sounds a lot weirder.
Oh, the music, but the chicks are great.
But the chicks are great.
But the chicks are great. I sound like a douchebag.
Yeah, like the quotes from the band members are priceless and do sound like probably lines that he's pulled from Led Zeppelin, Allman Brothers.
Yeah.
Peter Frampton, who worked on the movie and helped write the music.
He was in the movie.
Yeah,
He's
he
in
was
the movie.
for like 2 seconds.
In the extended version, he's in it a bit longer. But
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you can't fool me. I know.
Let there be lights.
Yeah.
Frampton.
There we
Whoa.
go. Lighting. Lighting. How about that? We're not taking that till next quarter. But we've already we're touching on the writing right now. Like you said, they wrote the Stillwater is written like the stereotypical 70s, late 60s, early 70s, like folk rock band.
Yes.
Like.
And I just want to take a moment to say, if you don't read screenplays, fine. You should, I think. But if you're gonna read a screenplay, read this screenplay. It is so good. I mean, it won the Oscar.
Yeah.
And it's what's really incredible about it is the like exposition. I'm boring him. Already.
No, I'm sorry.
Jesus.
I'm sorry.
But
I didn't mean
it's
to do
like there's very specific music and like a tone
Yeah.
that the writing brings into it that completely is different. It's like the music speaks for itself in this movie.
Well, another thing, I mean, that's the kind of thing, this movie kind of takes place at a time when classic rock and roll is dying.
According to Lester Bangs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Which we'll get into.
We're gonna get into
He
that.
was like the mentor figure.
He's honestly my favorite character. We'll get into that.
So it's kind of like, I love that he's writing for Rolling Stone at a time, like you said, when rock and roll is dying, and he's kind of getting it all at the tail end.
Yeah, because that character is convinced it's dying too.
Yeah.
Like you can see it in his eyes.
Yeah.
He's convinced it's dying. Though rock and roll was just about to it was like in its lull. It was about to be reborn again in hair bands.
Yeah.
Which I'm just gonna beat around the bush. 80s hair metal is my favorite genre. I am sorry. I'm sorry. I love it.
He knows not of what he says.
I'm sorry.
Don't.
It's by.
You can edit this part out.
But no, and but the thing let's just segue into acting.
Oh God.
Because
we could spend the whole video.
Talking about acting because I just really want to talk about who has already was one of my favorite actors, and this kind of movie cemented it again. Just like keeps re-cementing it every time I see him. Is the late great Mr. Philip Seymour Hoffman, and it's just such a tragedy that he's gone.
No, this guy spent 4 days on set and tore it apart.
Am I the only one that when he says, "Do you take drugs?" and he says no, and he's like, "Smart kid," and I'm like, ooh, because of Philip Seymour Hoffman's history with drugs.
Yeah,
and
well,
I'm like,
and the character that he's portraying died pretty young of a drug overdose.
Yeah.
So it's kind of eerie.
Yeah, it is super eerie. Yeah. But I love that uncool speech, man.
You know that's one of my favorite speeches of all time.
Philip Seymour, I mean, he made it cool to be uncool.
And if that sounds weird, but it's true.
Yeah.
Like
he did.
Yeah, it's like, I'm glad you're home. I'm always home, man. I'm uncool. Like that's it's like that's great.
And I love the scene when he's when the kid is watching. I forget the kid's his character's name, the boy in the movie.
Oh God.
You mean
Patrick,
William?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he's a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
William, when he's the kid,
Which is excellent.
Yeah.
he's watching Philip Seymour Hoffman in the studio, and he's like, "What is?" He's like throwing the records out because
Yeah.
he's like, "This is terrible. What is this?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
He's
that.
doing this move.
The thing is that I think is cool is because I've seen Karen, you saw Pirate Radio, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a really good.
It's a really
companion.
good companion to Pirate Radio, and he almost plays the same character, but
Yeah.
not.
Well,
Like
he's the
they're
mentor.
similar.
He's the mentor figure in Almost Famous. and-
Yeah, but in Pirate Radio, he's kind of like the head guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's like he's the count.
I did not have the pleasure of seeing Pirate Radio.
You should see it.
You should see Pirate Radio. Actually, it is a great comparison movie to Almost
I will
Famous.
add
It's a different experience, but
You could
but
kind
the
of put
music-
them in the same.
The music is paramount. Like I was telling you guys, they spent $3.5 million on the music budget for Almost Famous.
That does not surprise
comparatively
me.
to like
Doesn't surprise me at
1
all.
million,
And
$1.5 million.
I'm actually
typically.
surprised that Led Zeppelin, because Led Zeppelin is very protective of their music.
But
They are.
They are friends with Cameron Crowe. I mean,
Right. What I'm saying is like
You can do it, man.
They
You can
were
take
cool
it.
with that.
I was
They were cool with that.
quite surprised that Led Zeppelin actually let them use music in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, they probably paid a butt ton of money.
Yeah, they probably paid out the
So-
ass.
I mean, they used like 2 or 3 Zepp songs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3.
I think, but I know we said that. I think Stillwater actually reminds me more of Deep Purple than
Deep Purple.
Allman Brothers, just a little bit. Like,
Wait, what?
I'll shut up.
It's gonna get messy, folks. It's
Oh,
gonna get
The
messy.
one thing I'm well astute on is classic rock. But no, so wait, let's go back into acting for a second here, and just talk for a second about the mom. Let's talk
Yes.
about
Frances McDormand.
Frances McDormand.
Let's
She
talk
is
that.
Perfect.
Nailing it.
Yeah.
Like,
Nailing it.
Perfect as
in
the,
every
line is
sense of the
golden.
word.
The
Every line is golden.
the overprotective mother. She's so perfect at.
It was great.
And yet she has like this kind of liberal mentality of wanting him to follow his dream, but she's secretly hoping he'll be a lawyer.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And
It's like,
I started. Wait.
no,
Yeah.
this is not.
Mary Ann with the pot.
I started out not liking her.
I
Like,
know, and then I told you.
And then
3
you're
times.
like,
Give it
You're
time.
like, wait.
Wait
With
for
this
it.
big smile on your face, you're like, just wait. And I'm like, okay. And then,
actually, what I did was, she means well.
yeah,
what I
that's
said, she means
true.
well.
It's one of those characters that.
You're right.
It's one of those characters that kind of played by a certain type of actress or actor. It's one of those characters that would have been completely like if Frances. I get the feeling that if that character had been played by anybody other than Frances McDormand, we would have hated her completely.
I think you're right.
I love when you can't imagine anyone else
But-
playing a
Me
role.
too.
Because
I love
it's Frances McDormand, you know that she's got a good heart and you
Yeah,
know that she
yeah,
means well.
yeah.
She does a really great job with reaction shots, I
Yeah.
think. Whereas you get that look in her eye that you know that she cares about him, and this
Yeah.
goes against everything that she holds true.
Yeah.
Your mom really freaked me out, dude.
I know, I love that part.
She has some of the best lines in the movie.
Yeah,
in
she
my
really
opinion.
does. She really does have some of the best
Like,
lines.
I don't want to stomp on anyone's favorite scene. Is anyone's favorite scene when she talks with Russell on the phone?
Not mine.
No.
Okay, because that's one of my favorite scenes where she, he's on the phone thinking he's Prince Charming, like, oh yeah, I'm with Stillwater. We love your son, and she's like, your charm does not work on me.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, and I like because you know he's scared when he goes, yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Like-
ma'am. Yes,
your
ma'am.
brain cells which you throw
Yeah.
away like confetti.
I know. Yeah, that's a great line. This isn't Marianne with the pot.
No.
There's still hope for you.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I
There's
love
still
that.
Hope for you.
He's like, and then, okay.
Yeah. When
He
gets
just,
that face,
yeah,
he gets the perfect face. He's
Yeah.
like, yes, ma'am.
yeah. Like he just,
Ma'am.
it's great. And because you said, she cares. Even when Zoe Deschanel,
Zoe Deschanel.
Who
I was like,
shamelessly I love. I have to
I
say.
was
I do.
like, wow.
And
Like,
who,
this was before she was a big deal.
yeah, and you know what? Well, she's always been a big deal in my eyes.
Okay.
And her big, big blue eyes.
Yes. Oh,
For a
those.
second there, I thought you were going to say.
Oh, those
I
blue.
know.
Oh, those blue eyes. I do mean her blue eyes at the moment.
You have very nice earlobes.
But she, even though that, you know, your one and only oldest daughter, your first child, like decides that they hate you and go off to be a, of all things,
Fuck you.
flight
Thank
attendant.
you. No, the scene is it okay? If it is, I don't want to stomp on anybody's favorite, but the scene where she plays the song to her mom to describe how she feels and why she's going
That's
away.
great.
I know, it's perfect.
It's great.
She's just standing there like, you will listen to this, and mom's like,
It's great.
And she listens though,
And
right?
She does.
She's an understanding mom. She's a
I love-
very understanding mother.
I love when the very first scene you even see between her and Zoe Deschanel. She's like, "You've been kissing.
Yeah, yeah.
You've
Like
been kissing."
and I know who you've been kissing.
it's almost like she expects
She
her
sells
daughter.
it, man.
She's
Yeah,
so
she does.
yeah.
And she pulled out Simon and Garfunkel. It's about drugs and promiscuous sex.
Yeah.
It's poetic. Poetry about drugs and promiscuous sex.
Simon and Garfunkel. Of course. That's the underlying theme of Simon and Garfunkel is that it's all about sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
I would like to acknowledge that I personally now own a movie that has Kate Hudson in it.
He never
Yeah.
thought he would.
I
Yeah.
never.
And she's excellent in this movie.
She is.
She
I was
is.
like,
She's excellent.
she's a movie that
It's a good vehicle.
she's good. Like
She's great.
She's great in this
she's
movie.
great in the movie. Like this isn't like I don't hate her anymore. Like I don't.
She does such a good job of remaining like mysterious,
Uh-huh.
but still accessible enough that
Yeah.
you understand why he would have his first real crush on her.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, it's not hard to fall in love with Kate Hudson, despite her career. It's
Yeah,
kind of
well, I mean,
Yeah.
some of her choices have, I think,
not the
influenced that.
greatest.
Yeah.
I still love How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. There are some really funny parts.
Yeah.
But she, part of that has to be owed to Cameron Crowe's eye for
Yeah.
making something really beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
like taking those shots of her that are, she's not doing anything. I mean, she's just
Yeah.
being in the moment,
Yeah.
and it feels so organic.
Yeah.
Well, you and Hannah, you and I talked about this. We were talking about because Cameron Crowe also did Jerry Maguire.
Oh God,
And-
I love Cameron Crowe. I just
She
There were a lot of moments particularly with, it's comparable to Jerry Maguire. There are a lot of moments between Kate Hudson and William that are right on the cusp of being overly dramatic, but
But he somehow dodges it, and I don't
Exactly.
know how.
it's weird. It's like this weird wizard thing he does.
It's a It's a strictly Cameron Crowe thing. You
Yeah.
know when you're watching a Cameron Crowe movie, it doesn't fit in a category. It's a Cameron Crowe movie.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
real.
Like,
It feels real.
And you mentioned when we watched Almost Famous, when we started, like, we just put it in, you're like, Cameron Crowe's my Spielberg and Mel Brooks.
Yeah, because he's Mel Brooks, he's Spielberg.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cameron Crowe.
After I could totally, I see why.
I see why now.
Well, and I told you Spielberg read the script and he said,
Yeah.
film every word.
Everything.
Spielberg just told you, film every word. If I wrote that script, I would shit my pants.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If he says film every word, it's a damn good script.
I'm glad that now you said the scene because because we watched the bootleg cut, which is a little longer than the
Which,
original.
to be fair, I actually hadn't seen because I've had the movie so long. I've just watched the
and
one.
you
I
said
had.
that the scene with her dancing is
It's,
longer.
I think it's extended,
Yeah.
which
Which
I
is-
liked a lot.
It's
Yeah.
a pure.
That's my favorite scene.
It's such a. Well, I won't stop on it then. I'm just.
But it's a Cameron Crowe moment.
Yeah,
where
and it really
it doesn't. It's not in the plot.
There's something
Yeah.
so pure about
It's just
that
something
movie.
beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
There's something so pure about that
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
You know, it's just,
It is very.
You want to talk about who was Fugit?
Patrick Fugit.
Is it
Fugit.
Fugit or Fugit?
Oh, I think it's Fugit. I'm sorry if it's not.
If
Patrick.
we're
we are-
sorry if we're pronouncing
If we
it
are
wrong.
butchering this, we
We're
do
sorry.
apologize.
It's one of those names where you're just
I
like,
love
is
that
it that
kid.
way?
I love that kid.
He was
We were
perfectly
watching-
cast.
We were watching about how he was selected for the role.
Yeah.
And they did a nationwide search.
He looked just like Cameron Crowe did at
he
that
did
age.
a shorter haired version, but
Yeah.
there's like that look of just naivete.
Yeah,
There
on his
was
face.
Yeah, he was perfectly cast. Like,
there was something so I didn't think he was the greatest
actor.
But
But it worked for the character.
But it worked because there was a certain innocence about that character until he gets laid for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, which is one of those Cameron Crowe moments we were talking about that could have been really weird or it could have been overly sentimental, but there's such a cool exchange there where Kate Hudson's doing this.
Yeah.
And then you see the cuts from his eyes, like extreme close-up of his eyes, extreme close-up of her eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
And that could be really cheesy.
Yeah.
But it's not, like, it's slow motion. The girls are, like, dancing around him, and it just feels...
Yeah, it
beautiful.
feels...
It's magical.
Yeah.
That's the only...
It really is.
You saw me during the movie, I was just like...
To be fair, and this kid is like,
God.
he was fighting it off.
He didn't even want it.
He didn't want it.
He wanted...
What is wrong with you?
He wanted Penny Lane. He gets...
Who wouldn't?
But when an opportunity presents itself,
He's that good.
You take it.
Yeah.
He's that good, though.
I must be evil then, because like 3 girls are like, we want to deflower you.
Let's deflower the virgin.
And I'm like, but there's a girl I really want over here, and she's not doing anything. But there's these 3 other.
There's 3.
3 other girls who are just as attractive, and maybe even a little bit more. I'm not into blondes, but like.
Go on.
But. Like, and then they're just like, let's have sex. You didn't even have to ask them. They're just like, let's do it.
If we wouldn't have been in Greenville,
like, and you know what?
we
It's
might
like
have never gotten laid.
It's like, and then he's like, oh, and he has that look of like, I'm so glad I went on this trip.
Well, I love that.
I want to go to Greenville. I want to take 3 girls to Greenville right now and see.
But the
just
scene that
see
follows
what happens.
is him not being able to get the interview he needs
Right.
Yeah.
to write the story.
And then there's the scene where he just goes off on Penny Lane.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
Exactly. I mean, it's
I
kind
am
of.
the enemy.
It's kind of like, you know.
They call nothing the entire movie. I love it.
It's his innocence is gone now, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna get it all out, and
Yeah.
I love that.
And I love that scene where he's in the airport and you can just see it on his face.
Yeah.
He's been through the ringer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Billy Crudup and Jason Lee.
I love Jason Lee.
I do too.
They
But
were excellent.
I was
I
never,
like him in anything
Jason
he's
Lee
in.
was hilarious.
Jason Lee, Jason Lee's always hilarious.
I was never the biggest fan of Billy Crudup until it took me. He grew on me, and then when I watched Almost Famous, I was like, yeah, this guy can be really. When he's good, he can be really good.
I totally bought it.
Yeah, I bought it.
Totally bought
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
I totally bought
Do you
it.
want to see me?
Feed a mouse to my steak? Yes.
Yes.
Like, it's that whole stoned, yes.
I am a golden god.
Did I really say that? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on drugs.
It's like, I didn't really say it. I like at the end of it, like, where they read the article, he's like, did I really say I'm a golden god?
I didn't say that.
I didn't see.
Maybe
Yeah.
I did.
Maybe I did.
Maybe I did.
I like, and then, I don't know, that whole band, I want a movie, like, I know the movie's kind of about Stillwater. I want a comedy just about that. That's like a Spinal Tap with Stillwater.
That would be funny.
I think it would be a great comedy, like a little offshoot of that movie. I think it'd be great. Like, I don't know, because they had great chemistry, especially with the drummer who didn't say anything.
Yeah. Now so you've only seen the extended version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in the extended version, they have scenes of him like trying to get interviews with the bassist and the drummer.
Yeah.
And they don't say anything.
Yeah.
Well, you don't see that part in the final
really?
theatrical version. And I was like, oh, that's so funny because in the end they're like, you had the right idea, man.
Yeah. You had the right idea, man. You didn't say anything.
And then
enemy.
he doesn't say anything. He says 2 words in the whole movie.
And he's like,
I'm gay.
Yeah. I'm gay.
Oh yeah,
the plane crash scene.
Quintessential almost plane crash.
I'm just gonna tell this to any musicians who might be listening to this. Whether you are big named or not, don't ever get on planes.
No, don't get on a baby plane.
Just don't get on planes.
That was
in
a bad
general.
baby planes. Those are a bad idea.
Yeah, get on an adult plane. Let me rein this back in.
Okay.
Directing.
Yeah, Cameron Crowe, like
I kind of touched on it because he wrote it. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen 2 of his movies. Jeremy
Actually, this is
Maguire
the only
And he
Cameron
wrote
Crowe.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, okay. Then I technically have seen 2 then.
But I mean, Jerry Maguire.
He wasn't the director.
And Almost Famous. It's like you said. They're no in one particular genre. Like they somehow encompass everything.
Mm-hmm.
I like that he takes moments from what I would call everyday life.
Yeah.
That you remember. You know when you're like peeling back through your memories and there are certain things that stick, right?
Yeah.
That are just big moments in your life, or just even maybe it's not a big moment, but it's just something you remembered because of the way you saw something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He seems to be able to take those moments and put them all in like one package, and I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's magical.
Almost Famous is a coming of age, and it's a coming of age story, and it's also it has music in it. I mean,
It's a comedy, it's drama.
Jerry Maguire was sports movie. It was comedy. It was drama. I mean,
Rook is right. Music is its own character.
Yeah.
And Almost Famous.
It really is. It really is. And again, some of the way these things are shot, it's like
Well, when you
beautiful.
Also, when you have the lead guitarist from Heart,
Yeah.
Wilson,
who's also
who
your
happens to be
wife.
his wife. Awesome. That certainly helps. You have Pete Frampton, and you have Ann Wilson helping write your score.
Let's be fair
and
here.
Create original content.
That rug on Peter Frampton's head is not fooling anybody.
Not at all. No, it's not Nancy Wilson.
Nancy was
No, it's not.
Ann's the singer.
No, you're wrong.
I'll bet you $20 I'm right. Ann's the singer, Nancy's the guitar player. I'll bet you $20. I don't even have
Ooh, we got a lot going on right now.
No, he's right.
Uh-huh.
Then why is... Okay, never mind. It's neither here nor there.
Well,
That's credited wrong then.
we could even...
Anyways.
So, favorite scenes.
Okay.
Who wants to go first?
I'm going last.
All right, because you got the most.
My favorite is when they're on the radio show, and the guy.
That is not in the theatrical release, by the way.
Really?
At all.
Wow.
His favorite scene is not in the theater.
That's funny.
And the guy falls asleep.
That's awesome. And the guy in the radio station is Kyle Gass from Tenacious D. I just want to point that out.
KG.
Yeah. KG. It's the KG.
And they're just like, you're fucking. Are you the fucking leader of this fucking band?
Yeah.
And then he just wakes up. He's like,
oh, those were some magical seedlings from the Stillwater band.
And then he's like, I think that went really well. Like, after all that, I think that went really well.
Wouldn't it suck if the only scene in the movie that you were in got cut?
That would suck. Yeah. I have a favorite scene and, like, favorite, like, lines. Like, favorite
I have 1,000 of
lines.
those.
actually, before you continue, it's a tie. I have another one.
Okay.
When the kid, before the movie even gets started, when he finds out how old he is.
That's great. That's great. That's great.
You robbed him of an adolescence.
I know, God.
Adolescence is a marketing scheme.
Yeah, adolescence is a marketing scheme. Oh, God. But my favorite scene is Tiny Dancer scene.
That's an excellent.
Yeah.
I love it. I love scenes where, like, people just, like, we've all had a bad day. We all had, like, we got hard times, but when they come together and just, like,
And that was the perfect song
come together for this one thing and, like, hey, we're all
The
good.
magic that is Tiny Dancer.
No, you can't.
mean,
that magic that is Elton John.
Elton John.
And he just lets it happen.
Yeah.
The
Oh, yeah.
music just
That's what music can do, man. It takes you.
over everything.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's, hold me closer, trying to dance.
Yeah. Who sings that?
Elton John.
Keep it
Yeah,
that
let's
way,
keep it that
I was
way.
gonna say. Yeah.
Why you gotta be a dick, Nate? Why you gotta be a dick?
She said it too. Don't look at me.
I just knew what you were going to say.
But no, some of my favorite lines are mostly spoken by Zooey Deschanel. I mean,
Good ones. They all the lines.
she talks like a typical like late 60s, early 70s teenager. And I loved it because like I think my favorite one from the beginning was look under your bed, it will set you free.
Yes. Yes.
One day, you will be cool.
Yeah, that one too. That one too. Oh man,
I love that.
And then the ones that you mentioned at the beginning of the show, where I find the one guy that's not getting off, and I get him off. Like
it's all about the buzz, man.
Yeah.
That's the
fucking
buzz.
buzz.
that's the fucking buzz, man. Like anything that Jason Lee says.
I think anything Frances McDormand said was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
But my favorite scene is and will always be Kate Hudson just dancing
Yes.
in, I think it's the Cleveland Stadium or whatever.
Yeah.
Cleveland stage, and all the debris is kind of just strewn about, and she's just dancing. It's just.
It's a beautiful.
Kate.
It's a beautiful scene.
Beautiful moment.
And it's so it doesn't have to say anything. It's just.
Say anything.
You, oh, hey-oh. It reminds you that this is an era that's lost.
Exactly.
Yes,
exactly
very much so.
But she's kind of reveling in it for a little.
And she knows it's gonna die.
She knows it's going out, and it's like Cameron Crowe said. It's his love letter back to music.
Yeah.
You really feel that right in that moment.
Oh, you do. Yeah. And unfortunately, like, this is the movie that makes you realize that that era in music is dead. And which is when I was like trying to be a career musician, I thought the music industry was still like that, and then I came to realize it wasn't like that anymore.
Think of the awful grime you hear on the radio now. I'm
Yeah.
not going to go into a diatribe.
No, we're not going to go in. That's a whole other can of worms. That's a whole other can of worms.
I'm so nauseous.
That's a whole other can of worms. Though, Weird Al Yankovic, thanks for I'm So Handy. That's a great one.
Yeah, it is hilarious.
That's pretty funny. Tacky's good, too.
Tacky.
I like Tacky. But there's really, the ending of this, we only have
I love
the ending is great.
And some people didn't like the ending. They
I
thought it
re-
was
I
not enough, or they didn't. They wanted something more. I think.
Left to be desired. Like, there's
I
more.
love it.
I
think it's
love that the mom isn't mad.
Yeah, me too. I love that.
I
Oh my God, that's such a great moment.
I
Yeah.
love that she's happy. Not only that, she's happy that both
Both her kids are
are
home.
back.
Yeah.
And I love that William gets a private moment with Billy Crudup.
Yeah.
And he just, that's the interview right there. And
What
it's
do you love about music?
Yeah.
exactly.
To begin with?
And he's like everything.
Everything.
And it's in his bedroom, and it's
It's great.
awesome.
It's a nice, it's a
And
great thing.
I sincerely hope that was
Like Robert Plant or
Exactly.
Jimmy Page or something.
I don't think that actually happened, but I do know that the story, at least, is based on something real. When he was covering the Allman Brothers Band, which was the first story,
Yeah.
Dwayne Allman, who was like the father of the band, kind of, he died in a motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
And his brother was like distraught about it, and he thought that Cameron Crowe, he had like a delirious moment and was thinking he was like with the FBI and like the tapes were gonna be used.
Yeah.
I don't know. And so he took all of his tapes.
the enemy.
Yeah.
He took all the enemy's tapes. And so the moment in the airport is based on a real thing.
Oh, cool.
His sister was working and took him home, and then I guess I think it's Greg Allman. He had a change of heart and sent him all the tapes back.
Yeah.
And he sent it to
I-
Rolling
and I-
Stone
and
and
I
never
l-
told him anything about it.
I love that it's
That's so cool.
also, I also love that it's the same guy who, it's Billy Crudup who calls and verifies that none of it was true, and then he calls them back and tells them, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was all true.
Yeah. And again, like you said, like the mom is just happy to have both her kids back. Like
She's
just,
like, I forgive you.
I forgive you.
say
I didn't
was
say-
sorry.
I didn't say I was sorry. All right. Well, then again, it's a great movie. I said definitely go watch it. Definitely.
Please do.
Please go watch it. If you love like 70s music or late 60s, 70s music, if you enjoy Jerry Maguire, if you enjoy, if you actually, you know what? If you enjoyed Spinal Tap, watch this. It's totally different from Spinal Tap.
If
It's
you
not.
like good movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you like good movies, watch this. It's a great movie. We totally all recommend it. And as far as the next movie that we're doing,
Yes.
We're gonna take a little turn.
I'm not ready to cry again.
I'm not ready to cry
I'm
again.
really not.
I am not. But
we're doing Dead Poets
we're
Society.
doing Dead Poets Society.
It was chosen.
I chose it out of the bag. I pulled it out of the bag. I was really hoping I'd get Popeye, but
No one else was hoping that.
I know. I'm so alone in my movie choices sometimes.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, we're doing Dead Poets Society. That's next week. And so we're gonna have our tissues ready. Get yours ready for Dead Poets Society.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
It's another Robin Williams movie, so we're ready
Yeah.
for that. And we're not gonna do our plugging thing. We're just gonna skip that.
Yeah.
We're just gonna skip the plugs.
Oh, although, I mean, I did just post something.
Good.
Yes.
Okay, you go ahead
Just
and do
to
that.
be fair, if you go on YouTube and look up Lady Parts, it'll be a show. My show. And the latest installment is about Blue is the Warmest Color.
And it's
so.
excellent.
Yes.
That is up and running.
Yes.
So watch that. I just had an idea of something else, but I'm going to talk to these guys about off camera. So, as always,
We didn't.
What?
You got it off camera? Is it that bad?
No, it's good. I just had an idea.
It's just dirty.
Yeah, it's just very dirty. But as always for oh Jesus Christ! As always for Movie Crunch, I'm Eric O'Donnell.
I'm Hannah Sutter.
And I'm Nate Schaffner.
And we will see you, as always, at the movies.